Hello and welcome back to Human Anatomy and Physiology for Human Nervous System, lesson number 5. Today we're going to talk about the cranial nerves and what they do, and we're going to describe the structure of a spinal nerve. So what we're focusing on with these are going to be the peripheral nervous system. It consists of the nerves that branch out from the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. So this includes all the other nerves, including your cranial nerves. Remember that the somatic nervous system is conscious activities. These are things that you really can think about. And then the autonomic nervous system are going to be unconscious activities, such as your heart and glands releasing hormones, things like that. The peripheral nervous system consists of 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and those are what we're going to focus on first. They come directly from the brain, and they are numbered using Roman numerals. So here you can see all of them pictured. There will be another picture of this later on after we talk about each of them individually. Your first cranial nerve is your olfactory nerve. The olfactory is the sense of smell. So outside of your CNS, they are called olfactory nerves, and inside of the CNS, they are called the olfactory tract. But basically just know the olfactory has to do with the sense of smell. Number 2 is your optic nerve, optic, vision, pretty straightforward. It takes the information that goes into your eye and is put onto your retina at the back of the eye and sends it back through to the occipital lobe where it's all interpreted. The oculomotor nerve refers to muscles that control the movement of the eyeball. So oculo is referring to eye, motor means to move, so it's movement of the eye. Next you have the trochlear nerve. It is involved with some more of the eye muscles and the movement of the eyelid, so blinking. Next you have the trigeminal nerve. This is the main sensory nerve of the face. This goes through the nose, the jaws, the forehead, those areas. Next you have the abducens, which controls one of the eye muscles. Then you have the facial nerve. This is really used in facial expressions. So smiling, frowning, glaring at somebody. Those are caused by your facial nerves. If you can't blink or smile, you may actually have damage to this nerve. And then Bell's palsy is a damage to the facial nerve that causes paralysis on one side of the face. Nerve number 8 is your vestibulocochlear, and this is used in hearing and balance. So it connects to your ears. In particular down here you can see it connects to the inner ear, which helps to control both your hearing and balance. So if you get a severe ear infection, not only can you lose your hearing, but it can also mess with your balance. Nerve 9 is the glossopharyngeal nerve. This is your tongue, swallowing, speech, saliva production, all of those things are involved with the glossopharyngeal nerve. Next is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve comes from the word vagrant, which means wanderers. This is the only cranial nerve that actually travels down into your abdomen. It's the most important nerve because it innervates all of the organs in the thoracic and abdominal cavity. So this nerve actually goes down to all of your major organs, your lungs, your heart, your liver, kidneys, stomach, all of them. Nerve number 11 is the accessory nerve. It enters the skull through the foramen magnus and it supplies to the shoulder muscles. So it goes out through that main opening and goes down directly into your shoulder muscles. And number 12 is the hypoglossal nerve. This supplies the tongue. If you have damage to the hypoglossal nerve, it can cause impairment of speech. So going over them again and quickly what they mean. Olfactory, nerve 1 is your sense of smell. Optic, nerve 2 is sight. Ocular motor Nerve 3 is eyelid movements. 4, trochlear, is moving the eyes. Trigeminal, 5, is the face, jaw, and chewing. The abducens relates to your eyes. Number 7, facial, is your facial expressions. Number 8, your vestibulocochlear, involves your sense of equilibrium or balance and hearing. It's also sometimes called the auditory nerve. Number 9, the glossopharyngeal, controls your pharynx and tongue. The vagus, number 10, works with major organs and viscera. Number 11, the accessory, works with your shoulders. And number 12, the hypoglossal, works with your tongue. So here you can see they're all kind of highlighted in color, the olfactory, oculomotor, and you can see as you work your way through where all of them are located. So this view would be if you were looking from the underside of the brain. So you have your cerebrum, the cerebellum, and this would be just the underside of the brain. Next, you have your spinal nerves. We've said there are 31 total pairs, and we've talked about where they're located before. So you have your 8 pairs of cervical nerves from C1 to C8. Then you have 12 pairs of thoracic nerves from T1 to T12. You have 5 pairs of lumbar nerves, and then 5 pairs of sacral nerves, and then 1 coccygeal nerve at the bottom. So when we zoom in, the spinal cord will actually end between the first and second lumbar vertebrae. So this would be L1 and this would be L2. And this is the end of your spinal cord itself. And so from this point on, they're actually, instead of being one whole cord, they're more like individual cords, like strands of hair. So that's where the name cauda equina comes from, meaning horse tail. If you think about a horse's tail, how it's all just the long hairs coming out. The end of your spinal cord, down from L2 all the way through the sacrum, is just more like little strings, so therefore it's called the cauda equina, or horse's tail. Each nerve, where it comes out, will have areas called roots, and you will have a dorsal root and a ventral root. So remember, ventral is towards the front, dorsal is towards the back, so the 2 roots, and then it will just come out. The roots are where it connects into the spinal cord. Here you can see that again, you have your roots, one on each side, and it comes out from the spine itself. There's an assignment to be completed at the website. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. This is the last lesson for the unit, so next will be our review, followed by the unit test.